We have an agency getting ready to hire over 1,000 new people this year. You probably never considered them. This is coming from the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the reason behind this is 2 new climate bills. When most people think of working for the federal government, they're thinking about the big agencies: Department of Defense, Veteran Affairs, Department of Homeland Security. EPA, it's a smaller agency. It has about 14,000 employees in it. And if you take a look at the rankings, it is ranked number 7 out of 27 for medium federal agencies. But you probably don't know too much about it, and the EPA knows this. Because of it, EPA has started a campaign called Be EPA, which includes hosting events like virtual hiring events to get the word out, to get people interested. But the problem is, when people come and attend the events and they have questions about a certain job, about certain vacancies, they're directed to go on USAJobs.gov. If we search EPA jobs on USAJobs.gov right now, we see there are 170 jobs. And these are the top 3 jobs in the EPA. We have the 1301 General Physical Science, 0819 Environmental Engineering, and 0401 General Natural Resources Management. But we have plenty of administrative jobs in this agency as well. There are over a dozen 0300 job series jobs in this agency. Then we have the ones for interns, targeted specifically at the students in the university. And the EPA, they want to double the amount of intern positions that are currently available. The student or internship pathway, it's a great way to get into the federal government if you have limited or no experience. Because once they bring you in, let's say it's an internship, oftentimes the internship will pay you $40,000, $50,000 a year while you're learning, you're building up the skills, and then at the end of that internship, they can offer you a permanent position, so you don't have to worry about competing with other people. Unfortunately, the EPA is historically understaffed and underfunded since its inception in 1970. This might change with the ongoing budget discussions. Right now, as you probably know, all federal agencies, they're operating on a continuing resolution. So once the budget is agreed upon, this 1,000 new hires, this can go even higher than that. Most of the money will probably come from the Inflation Reduction Act, which is focused heavily on climate and taxes. If you are considering the EPA, keep in mind there's 10 offices all across the country. Each one is probably operating a little bit different. This is a map that shows you how the offices are distributed across the country, so you want to target the office in your area. When you see these virtual job hiring events popping up for the EPA, it will include the office number. So it'll say Office 4, Office 5, and that lets you know what region they're focused in. Now, if these virtual hiring events, if this is something that you want to put on your radar, this is something that you want to attend, because you could meet a human resource specialist. You could meet potentially a hiring manager. So it is good to show up to these type of events. If you want me to email you, I email people every week a list of all the hiring events that are happening in that week. If you want me to email it to you, sign up to the free newsletter down below. Within the EPA, if you have a legal background, you probably want to target OGC, Office of General Counsel. If you want to focus on data analysis, you probably want to go to ORD, Office of Research Development. If you want to work on emergency response, then you want to go to OLEM, which is Office of Land and Emergency Management. Most people I know that work in the EPA, they only go to the office 1 day out of the week. The other 4 days, they're allowed to work from home. So there is this sensation and feeling that they're being stretched thin. They don't have the necessary resources to accomplish their mission and to actually make significant progress. They're missing money, they're missing people. If more people applied and were hired, they probably could do a lot more with what they have. Now, if you want 100% remote work, that's going to be a little bit more challenging to get in the EPA. If you look in USA Jobs right now, there's only 2 positions that are 100% remote work. The first one's for an auditor and the second one is for a contract specialist. The last few people I've spoken with that were able to get a job offer from the EPA, they said the hiring process, it went by pretty quick for government standards. So typically 4 to 6 months to get a federal government job. That's the answer. For EPA, I've been seeing it done in 3 months, 3.5. In one case, it was under 3 months. So it seems like they're taking the onboarding and the hiring process very seriously, and they're getting people into these positions. Keep in mind that this upcoming presidential election will impact this agency pretty significantly. If you look at when President Biden came into office, the EPA has grown 7% since then. And what the president really would like to see is it grow 19%. So it's not even where it needs to be at this point. If you look at when President Trump was in office, there was a significant decline in the EPA. You can see that from 2011 to 2019, the EPA fell in staffing by over 20%. And now it has been rebuilding and hiring more since 2019. You can take your skills, experience, your abilities, and you can work in any federal agency in the government. The main reason I see people that are gravitated towards EPA is because they want to make a difference. They're passionate about it. You could work at an NGO, you can work at a private company, but you're never going to be able to impact policy the way that you are in a federal government job. That is where you're actually involved in making the laws. I had a conversation recently with an environmental engineer, and he knew that he could make 40% more money easy if he went to the private sector. But his passion for clean water, it superseded any type of salary increase. He felt a calling and was deeply passionate about the issues he was working towards. And that's why he's staying at the EPA. Now, if you're still looking for a federal government job, but you need to know, what is the exact process? What are the steps? What happens after you're referred? How long does it take to hear back after the interview? If these questions are on your mind, I break down all the steps in the federal hiring process. And if you're interested, I want you to watch this video next. If you would like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.